I'm Nikki. I started nursing mainly because I had two children that I had to take care of. Um, Honestly, I had no other reason to go into nursing. And then after that, I found a love for it.
I'm Annie, and the reason I went into nursing was, well, actually, I thought I was going to be a school teacher since I was about 4 years old, and yeah, that didn't work out. I did, I attended school for a little while for that, and I worked at a church school, and the kids tortured my soul. So I immediately took myself back to college and decided to get a nursing degree, and I have worked in the pediatric ICU ever since. So still with kids, just not a teacher.
You got this one?
I got this. So
Okay.
Nikki and I met in nursing school, but we really didn't become friends until our third semester. So Nikki's legal name is Susan, and they always were for Susan in the class, and I never knew who she was because she was Nikki, and she sat in the front of the class, and she
I sat in the back.
Oh yeah, you sat in the back. I sat in the front. Like, who is this woman, and why does she never come to class? Well, we got paired together in our last semester for clinicals, and we attended our first code together, and so we had this moment of bonding, and I'm pretty sure, like afterward, like she was crying in the elevator. I felt like I was on another planet. And we walked our instructor, and she was like, he didn't make it. And we were like, And so that's kind of where our friendship began. And then we both applied to a pediatric ICU in our area. And we both got the job, and we were attached at the hip. We literally thought we could do absolutely nothing without the other one. It didn't matter what it was.
We became very codependent on one another after that. Like everything we did together.
Like that's kind of where our friendship began. And then we decided probably about after 2 years of being nurses, we decided we wanted to be travel nurses, and we were going to do it together. But it took us another year to actually take that leap.
We are in Oklahoma City right now, and without giving out too much info about a patient, we, of course, were attached at the hip, taking care of a patient. I had this patient one night. Annie had the same patient the next night. We were in the middle of an EMR switchover from Meditech to Epic. All these brand new baby nurses were terrified. All the travelers knew Epic. Staff did not. And we had a patient whose parents were going through something that was absolutely petrifying to them. And me and Annie were a couple of familiar faces they had seen over and over for a few nights in a row. And their child loved us, just fell absolutely in love with us. She was very comfortable with us. We always could make her laugh and smile, and they hadn't seen their baby smile in a couple days. And we bonded with this family. And I think that we were able to bring this family a little bit of relief during this really hard time. And so we were sitting in huddle, fixing to get our assignments. It had been 2 months since we had taken care of this patient. And we had seen the Daisy bags in there. So they start reading off this long story of what this Daisy Award was. And they read Annie's off first. And Annie, of course, knows exactly who this patient is. Her ADHD just keeps all of her patients in line. And she's like, oh, I know who that is. And I was like, I have no idea. So Annie gets this Daisy Award, and I'm like, oh my gosh, congratulations, bestie. So proud of you. And so then they start reading the other one and it's like almost identical. And I'm like, oh, Annie, they're reading yours again. Just words here and there were different. And then they say my name, and I was like, and she's like, Nikki, you know who this patient is? And I was like, I have no idea what's going on right now. And so I was like, yay. And I had the most terrible day the day before. So then I'm in tears and we're hugging and we're like, it was great. It was a wonderful feeling to be recognized, especially as a traveler, because travelers don't normally get Daisy Awards. But to be recognized as a traveler, especially with your best friend who you've been traveling with for 3 years now, who you've done everything in your nursing career with, it was really, really cool to experience that with her.
You know, nursing is a selfless job, and like, we don't do it to be thanked, but it is nice to get that recognition and to be thanked, because like a lot of times in those moments in the room with the patient, and you have these moments with them, and like you're helping someone who can't help themselves, and so that in itself kind of like gives you some gratification knowing that you're at the right place doing the right thing. But to like get the recognition outside of that in front of your like coworkers and peers and stuff, it you know, it really does mean a lot, because we do like pour a lot of ourselves and give a lot of ourselves to others, and it's nice to have that given back to us.
One of my favorite things is being able to travel with my best friend. So I know that I just extended for the second time in Oklahoma City. She's working on her extension. We just moved in together. Our extensions were our contracts were a little off, but now they've lined up a little bit to where we're able to move in together. We almost always share a place. So she's just moved in with me in Oklahoma City. And so my future when it comes to nursing is always to travel, and always to travel with her as long as she's traveling. Her life looks a little different than mine because my kids are grown and hers are not. But I mean, always, like, if she's traveling, I want us to travel together.
Yes, and this that's like the third time we've had a contract in Oklahoma. Like, we took one like at least once a year since we started travel nursing. So it's one of our favorite. And like most places we go, we don't learn nurses' names. Like, we nickname them, and we're like, oh, you know, what's her face with the hair, or this or that. But we've been to Oklahoma so much that we actually have learned names, and we're working here. We have extended here, or I'm working to get my extension, and then and I don't know where my nursing career is going to go. I am back in school, so like working on my BSN, and then I'm going to work on my master's. So, but traveling until that is done, or whatever comes of that.